made me wander from country to country to country to country. But as he spoke, he entered into a state of ecstasy. This is the God we are praying to. The Quran says, God, Allah, is Zahir and Batin, outside of you and also inside of you. Everything around you, the Quran says, in fact, there's a verse of the Quran which says, every soul where you turn is the face of Allah. Every soul where you turn is the face of Allah. God is outside of you, and God is inside of you. I'm pointing here inside the heart. There's a very beautiful verse called Hadith Qudsi, a direct revelation to the Prophet Muhammad. Even without the intermediary of Angel Gabriel, where God says, "Oh beloved one, God is saying to us, I cannot be contained in the space of the earth. I cannot be contained in the space of the heavens. But I can be contained in the space of the pure, loving heart of my servant." So in Islamic spirituality, God is outside of you, and God is also inside the human heart, the mystery of mysteries. So this space for Islamic, spiritual seekers, or Sufis, some of them are called Sufis, this is the most mysterious space in the human body. Because within human heart is also divine heart, which led Rumi to explain and utter what Jamal close down speech's door and open the window of your heart. The moon will kiss you only through the window. And all the great teachers say, you've got to open your heart, otherwise you never receive the illumination, the beauty, the joy of God, no matter how much you pray. The radiance of the moon fills the east and west. But of what use is it if the window of your heart is closed? I said earlier, this is how Muslims pray. They go like this, they go like this, stand up, prostrate. You do several times, and they end by sitting and going like this and like that. Where did this idea come from? Where did this imaginative, creative way of praying come from? Well, this is a story. You know, Prophet Muhammad, and this is probably unfamiliar to you, even as a child, he was a mystic. Even as a child, he used to go in the mountains and sometimes sit in meditation for hours and sometimes for days and nights. When he was older, he was praying in Mecca and then meditating. And to his utter astonishment, he found his entire being becoming transported. He was very confused. What's happening? Is this a dream? Or is it really happening? He found himself at the top of this magical steed called the Buraq. And he went horizontally from Mecca to the Al-Aqsa. Al-Aqsa means faraway place. The Al-Aqsa, faraway place, to the rock in Jerusalem, where you have the Dome of the Rock. A horizontal trip from Mecca to Jerusalem, and from there he was greeted by many prophets. And if you remember from last time, he began to ascend the 7 levels of heaven, from which comes this cliche, I'm in 7th heaven. And as he was ascending the 7 levels of heaven, he was in total amazement, and he looked around him, and he was bedazzled by the sight of angels. All around him, angels, 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 all going like this, like that. But he was listening to what they were saying. And there was some sort of understanding of communication. All they were doing was they were and they were thanking God. They were praising God and thanking God. So Muhammad realized that the essence of a prayer is really about praising your Creator and thanking your Creator. And when he saw the angels, he realized we must use the gift of a human body to express this adoration. So they use the human body to express this adoration. So when you see a Muslim praying, all they're saying, 99% of the content of the prayer is, oh God, you're the greatest of the greatest. You're the most sublime of the sublime. You're the most merciful of the merciful. You're the one who is incomparable or incomparable. And then they're saying also, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so grateful, grateful. That's the bulk of the content of an Islamic prayer. And when he came down, he met, the Islamic mythology goes, he met Moses. And Moses said, Muhammad, among other things with aspects of divinity you communicated with, what were some messages? And Muhammad said one message was that divinity transmitted to me this insight that your community must pray 50 times a day. Moses said, 50 times a day? And Moses was used to bargaining apparently. He says, impossible! Our community will never pray 50 times a day. Go back, bargain for a lesser number. 40 times, 30 times, 20 times. Go back, go back, go back. 5 times, go back! Muhammad said, I'm much too shy now to go back. So from that time it was fixed, Muslims must pray 5 times a day. So what are the times they pray? Muslims pray before dawn, before the sun comes up. They pray when the sun is at its highest, 12, 1. They pray in the afternoon, 4, 5. They pray at sunset. And they pray at night, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And how does the prayer go? There is the ritual of ablution. Before you pray, you must purify yourself through a particular ritual. And you start by just rinsing your hands, and you make an internal prayer with that ritual. Oh God, please cleanse my hands. Make these hands worthy of service to you. Then you snuff your nose, and you can say different things, you know, may I not be so nosy in my life, or, oh God, may I smell the perfume, the fragrance of paradise. You clean your ears, may I resist from listening to gossip, for example. Or may I always listen to you, my beloved God. They put water on the back of their neck also, meaning may I always be in humility surrendered to you. They also wipe their feet. May this cleansing of my feet always take me in the direction of righteous action, in the direction of light. So that's the first ritual that Muslim does before they pray, just before they pray, each of the 5 times. Then they listen for the call to prayer. Have you ever heard a call to prayer? The call to prayer is, if you go to a Muslim country, it's very comprehensive. I don't want to say, some will say babble, some will say melody of the most beautiful sounds, saying, God is great, God is incomparably great, He's the most compassionate. Come to prayer. This is for your own betterment. This is for your spiritual enlightenment. Please come to prayer. Please come to prayer. Come and gather for prayer. And gather for prayer, particularly in a community. In a community. Remember, I said, God said, remember me, and I shall remember you. And Prophet Muhammad said, God said something else. God said, if you remember me, yes, I remember you. But if you remember me in a group, I remember you better. So let me do a call to prayer. So imagine as though you're it's one of those 5 times, and you're ready with your ablutions, the call to prayer comes, you just become very still and listen. And by the way, with the call to symbolizing, as I stand in the presence of majesty, for now